There's a place inside, you gotta let it shine, let it go. You don't need to hide. Soul talking. Soul talking. Hi everybody and welcome to this week's very, very special episode of Soul Talking, my new interview series where I sit down and have soul-to-soul discussions with like-minded people, many of who've been on my courses, who are just so inspiring to me and doing such amazing things spiritually. This week, I have a real-life Amazonian Wonder Woman by the name of Viviana Mirimar. She's over there. Hello and welcome, Viviana.
Hi, thanks for having me, Richard.
It's just great. It's great to see you, to see a friend again. It really is. Viviana lives in Scotland. She lives with a family of dogs. You've got 2 dogs currently.
Yeah.
She's an absolute lover of all animals, but totally passionate about dogs. She's self-employed and runs her own business, School of Drool, which is a doggy daycare centre.
Doggy daycare, grooming school. We have a puppy pottery nursery for the pups. We do dog training.
So all of that.
Everything dogs, yeah.
Everything she does to do with dogs, and this is her business. She's extremely spiritual and is a healer within the realm of energy, both holistically and spiritually. She's a Reiki master and she is part of WOWA Women of Wonder. Have I said that right?
Yeah, so it's WOWA Women of Wonder and Healing.
WOWA Women of Wonder and Healing.
Yeah.
And she encourages and heals women through trauma as an emotional therapist.
Yeah.
She really is a real life Wonder Woman in every sense of the word. And I love the fact that she's got a plant in the room. It's kind of her Amazonian jungle behind her. And my favourite picture that I remember from when I first met you on the back, that I still haven't stolen yet, but I'm coming back up, so there's always time.
Yes.
I am so excited to be sitting down with you. Welcome, Viviana.
No, thank you.
Well, you have got massive support today. There are so many people that have already contacted me that remember you from the courses, that can't wait to watch this. You've got massive support. I've seen what's been going on in your page of people watching the trailer as well. And of course, your biggest supporter is sitting in front of you.
Yeah, you have your Wonder Woman t-shirt.
I have my Wonder Woman t-shirt on. I am Linda Carter today, let me tell you. I'm not. Yeah, well, it looks blue, but whatever, you know.
Purple.
But I'm matching your hair, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Right, Viviana, where do we start? It's really great to go on that journey for everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your life as a kid. Talk to us.
So actually, I didn't have a massive amount of childhood memories until recently, maybe over the past year with the WOWA journey. There was lots of things blocked out, Richard, through traumas that I didn't know I had. And I had a very good childhood. It's not like a lot of people mix the term trauma with something really, really maybe negative happening to you. You know, and trauma is anything. I mean, I could have been standing and my mum was cooking and it was maybe like hot round about there and she's maybe asked me to get back when I was maybe small and maybe I've took that as rejection, or that your body holds that as trauma. And sorry, but that's the emotional therapist part of me coming out there. But yeah,
it's so good.
All that trauma, and then you repeat these cycles in your life. You look for these cycles. So didn't have a huge amount of childhood memories, but the memories I did have were all animal based. You know, my dad had an aviary outside and we had a family dog, Sheba, who was brought home from a building site and she was probably only about 8 weeks old. And, you know, it was that she can stay here for a week until we find someone, then she's out. But she didn't.
Who said that? Your mum?
Yeah.
And what were you like? You were like, get in there quick and let me lock the door so they don't find you.
My bed, sleeping with me straight away, you know. And she was, so Sheba was 17 when she had to crossover, and it was, I felt like I was losing.
It was tough.
Probably the only soul person. I didn't know about souls at that age, but that I'd ever really been truly connected.
Your best friend.
To. Yeah, absolutely.
Was that your earliest memory of loss?
No, because Sheba, I was a teenager when we had to put Sheba to sleep. My earliest memory of loss was probably my cousin when he died in a car accident.
Right.
But animal loss,
yeah.
probably no. We lost lots of birds. We lost rabbits. I had a tarantula for a pet that I lost before Nancy, that my brother got me for my birthday, and I had no idea that they hibernated.
Right.
So I woke up one morning. It was
this is the spider, the tarantula,
and Nancy was in her shell. So thought she died. So I buried her out in the garden. So I'm sure after the winter, she just ballooned back out and just went a wee walk.
Could you imagine it? It's just like somebody's there, but you never found her again.
Never found her again, no.
But the next door neighbours probably did. She was probably doing the washing up and felt something, and she said to her husband, "Not tonight, dear." Looked round and there's a tarantula.
Yeah. I think I need to do a connection with Nancy. Why have I not done a communication with Nancy?
Yeah. Well, she's come into your mind today.
Definitely.
Whenever they come into our mind like that, it's like they're gently tapping at us and just saying, just prodding us with all those legs. Going to freak people out watching this, aren't I? So many people don't like spiders, and they're like, why am I watching this? And you're talking about spiders.
I know. We'll move on from spiders.
But you loved her.
Loved her. Loved. Richard, I will actually stop my car if I'm like driving and I see like an insect on my window and its wee wings are struggling because of the wind. I'll stop and pull over until that insect flies off my vehicle, and then I drive. I just feel it so much.
I do that when wasps get in the car. I stop the car, but I get out and I run and
scream. Run away.
I run and scream. Even if the car's still going, I get out.
Yeah, I used to be like that.
Right. Wow. Okay. So you're a kid growing up. You've had these relationships with the animals, birds, tarantulas.
Yeah, and always being told that I just had a very overactive imagination.
Is that what you were talking? So okay, an overactive imagination, something that I've heard so many times with people and myself from people, my parents. Did you see spirit as a kid?
I did. Yeah, I didn't know I was seeing spirit as a kid. It's only really since I've did all this inner child work,
right,
after what I went through in the past few years, but that I realised it was spirit I was connecting with, but I was told, oh, it's just your imagination. And then I would lie there and I would like, Richard, there was points in my life that my sister couldn't go out with her friends, and my brother and sister are older than me, until I was sleeping because I couldn't be in my bedroom itself.
Like what? Give us an example of something
like the way the shadow of the curtains would be, because I've had a connection or something coming through, and that scared me. Then when I would lie in my bed at night, I would see like shadows and stuff, and I would be like, is that the person that was connecting with me? Are they watching me? When I would say anything about connections or speaking to spirit or anything like that, not knowing it was spirit, it's your imagination, it's
and you wouldn't realise as a kid, would you? And obviously we're so impressionable by things.
Absolutely.
And we're always shut down as kids. So it's no surprising so many people like you, and it happened to me, so much I didn't remember till I went into some form of therapy. To open up my childhood experiences, because parents close children down
without them knowing,
well, sometimes they know.
Yeah, my parents, I can't fault my childhood, and I can't fault my parents at all. I've got a tattoo in my back. My father, my hero, my mother, my angel, and that's it. That's
lovely to hear.
A statement for me, but they're just living through their conditioning and their programming, and so my mum started to open up quite a lot in the past year since Wows came about. She actually says to me the other day, do you think I've got like some of those gifts that you have?
Good. We've all got gifts.
We all do.
We've all got gifts, haven't we? And we just need to find that old can opener and
Yeah,
open up the tin.
we all used to be able to connect with home, Richard. We all used to be able to go into a meditative state,
Yeah.
connect to our higher self, you know,
Yeah.
and connect with home. And just over the generations and of this world
We've shut down.
evolving to what it's evolved to, everything's just been shut down. No one listens to their gut, their intuition anymore. And
No
then
one talks.
no one talks. Then your diet also comes into that, because everything that's put in your food gives you bad gut health. And when you have bad
Right.
gut health, you
Do you eat meat?
no.
Are you a vegan or a vegetarian?
Yeah, vegan, plant-based. We're all connected, we're all energy.
I'm completely with you on that.
I don't have this hierarchy of animals, or where humans decided that they were the hierarchy. You know, at the top is just,
Yeah.
you know,
We're all the same, aren't we?
driven by ego, just completely driven by ego.
A world of it. A
And
world of it.
that's what these guys don't have.
A world of it. Absolutely. So there's Viviana with all her hair, strutting out into the world as a kind of in her 20s, still with animals.
No, it didn't quite happen like that. I had a lot of bullying and stuff going on, and then the panic attacks hit, and
You were bullied at school.
Yeah, massively. Yeah,
Do you know why? Can you even? I mean, they're usually the most ridiculous reasons when you look back as an adult.
I was stuck on that for a long time, Richard. I was stuck on why me? Why did I get bullied like that? You know, because I went from a very small primary school, then went to high school, and everything just went, what's going on? I didn't fit in. I was shy. I was quiet. Yeah. It just, I don't know why. It was serious. I was 19 and I was sleeping on my mum and dad's bedroom floor, 18, sorry, because I used to have to go to the hospital every time I felt, because I was convinced I was dying. I had heart surgeons and everything, convinced that there was something wrong with me.
What?
Brain shit, like it just continued all the time. I was lifeguarding at the time in the sports centre. I was studying physiotherapy, and I was a lifeguard and a swimming instructor, and I was on the poolside one day, and I just started screaming from nowhere, I'm gonna die, crying.
Oh my goodness.
Roughed me out. It was horrendous. And then I connected with someone who I met through the vets when I started working in the vets. And she had told me about Reiki. And that's when my Reiki journey started, when I was 19. But I was told then from my Reiki master that I'd went through spiritual psychosis.
Goodness me. So it was actually the shifts all happening inside of you in the energy, because when that happens with the energy coming in, it can create all sorts of situations. And if we're not balanced.
Yeah. And of course, my nervous system was shutting down, because it's foreign to us to be, you go into fight or flight mode when your body receives something that it's never had before, like trauma, you know.
Yeah.
So it was, I didn't know what was going on, and I had got a tattoo when I was 16 on my bum from my friends to hide it from my parents. And back then you just used to go in and pick a tattoo. So
And just do it with a marker pen, permanent marker pen.
Absolutely, yeah, Indian ink. So like, I'd picked this tattoo, I don't know why, but I was really, really drawn to it. Didn't know what it was. So then I was on holiday a few years later, and I seen the same symbol drew, and it turns out it was an Egyptian, it was the Eye of Ra, sun god. So even way back when I didn't know, I was being attracted to things.
Yeah.
I had no idea why.
Yeah.
But then I got into a relationship when I was 21, and I just dived.
What do you mean?
My Reiki, my spirituality, everything that I'd just found this path on had allowed the relationship that I'd got into, because I felt good about the relationship. I felt good.
And you shelved your spirituality.
Yeah, I did.
It happens so much. And people come along, and if we allow them to, they diminish our light.
Absolutely. Because if you're on a vibration and they're on a lower vibration, and you're with them, and you can't pull them up to your vibration. They're going to pull you down to their vibration.
You don't know it's happening.
You don't
That's
know.
the thing about it. You don't know it's happening. Happened to me, Viviana, as well. Happened to me. So I completely get it.
Yeah.
Bless you. So did you have dogs at that point that you were going through that in that relationship?
Not at that point, because that relationship, I travelled a lot with him. He was in the army. He was
Yeah.
Fijian. He was from Fiji, so I actually spent a long time in Fiji with him too, 1 year. And
Oh,
yes, we
wow.
did a lot of travelling, and then that relationship ended, and I moved into another relationship.
You went through various relationships because I guess you were searching for something and you
Yeah,
didn't even know it.
yeah. And when I was growing up through high school, I never had a boyfriend. No one was ever interested in me, Richard. You know, and
Oh,
when I left school, school was horrendous for me, because it wasn't until I went to college that I was tested for dyslexia and stuff like that. Because at school they just told me I was lazy, and I had to come out my shell. You
I mean,
know,
you're not, you're still young, but you look back, I mean, things have changed a lot now. A lot of these
yeah,
kind of situations are diagnosed a lot earlier on. It's
yes,
it's
yeah,
like dyslexia, ADHD now. We're having massive, it's happening massively now, isn't it? That people are getting
yeah,
diagnosed with all of this.
yeah. Thankfully, you know. So I really, really, really struggled with everything. So when I went to college, it was there I started to get into sport and look after myself. And then I started to get male attention from guys that I never thought would look twice at me.
Just sporting around in a swimwear, getting all the male attention, a strong swimmer, a mermaid of the sea. I know it. When did the dogs start to come, the animals and the dogs more than anything, when did they start to come back into your life?
So the relationship that I was talking about, the second relationship, I was with Gary a long time. And when we got together in our early 20s, he got me a dog,
Yeah,
with Bruno, that just passed away a few weeks ago. So Bruno was
yeah.
he was 16 there when he passed away. So Gary got me Bruno because we had got our own flat together, you know, and I was never allowed another dog back in the house with my mum. And so my mum just can't take the grief, you know. So Gary got me Bruno, my wee chocolate lab, and I was working in the vets at the time because I took a job in the vets just because I always want to be connected with animals. So
Yeah.
doing just a wee part-time job on top of everything else at the vets, and I got Bruno, and it was like that connection I had with Sheba as a child and growing up, it just all came flooding back.
Did it feel different? I know you say it
It
came
felt
flooding
different
back.
because I understood it a little more, because I didn't understand it as a child. This dog was actually communicating with me, you know, and
How? What was happening, Viviana?
I was listening. It's not about them, it's about us.
About us.
You think about, let's take a dog. I'm going to pick a dog, and I go to a dog breeder, and it's all the little pups with their mum, and you pick one and you take it away. Think about what's going on in that dog's mind, you know, that it's just been born. It's like absorbing all this stuff, and everything's new, and it's with its litter mates, and then you just get these big humans coming in, lifting it up, taking it home, putting it in bags, everything that you do. They have got to very quickly understand us.
Yeah.
What do we do to understand them? And I'm not talking about
Nothing.
the training,
Nothing. Chastise.
and your walk and like all your obedience training and all that.
Which is control.
SHIT, which is control. What about them? What about how they feel? And we can connect with them, Richard. And I always did, but I never said anything because just that overactive imagination that I was told for a long, long time,
You're
you know.
so passionate about it. So
Oh,
you just listened.
I just
You
listened.
just listened in a world of so much talking and noise. You just centered yourself and listened.
I can get through a full day and not speak any words to my dogs. It's just me and them. But we're connected all day, you know, the energy.
What do they show you? Do they show, as well as having that unheard language that's going on between you, where you're just absolutely connected on a soul level? Because you are.
Yeah,
That is what's happening. You know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
What else is going on? What else are you picking up from them?
Everything. Everything. Like,
How does it happen, Viviana? Do you get images? Do you hear words, sensations?
it's like I hear them talking. So
Yeah,
obviously everyone connects with spirit differently, you know,
yeah,
and what spirit shows you is dependent on your association with things, because what spirit would show
got
you
it.
is completely different from what it would show
Yeah,
me. Because purple might mean something to you differently what purple means to me. And actually, when I started doing animal communication, remember when I came down to you and stuff, I was
yeah,
training someone, I was training a girl up my fields. She says to me, I used to talk about the dogs as if they were like at school. And I would put their voices on and tell people what they were saying to each other. And because I could walk 25, 30 dogs at a time on my own, up my field, no problem at all.
gosh.
And she says to me, "Are you an animal communicator?" And I said, "What, a dog trainer?" She said, "No." She said, "I've never seen anyone train dogs like you." She says, "But I says, "I don't know what an animal communicator is." And that's when I was like, oh my God, people actually do what I've been told all my life I'm crazy
Been
for. This
doing.
is a thing. And that's obviously what led me to you.
Yeah. So what about the dog business? We had a conversation years ago, and you said, "Oh, I've got this field that I walk all the dogs in, and they're all running." And I'm like, wow, how does she cope with so many dogs? But I have followed those stories and how you become so intertwined into their lives from puppies.
Yeah.
It's almost like you become mama too,
Yeah. Puppy stage is so important. So important, you know,
because they're so impressionable.
so impressionable. And what you're teaching your animal at a certain stage in their life becomes permanent, you know. It becomes like the things that come permanent for us. Like
Conditioning.
promise, you know, good times, good memories, and
Yeah.
um
You're
I feel,
creating those.
and I'm trying to give that communication between dog and, I don't like saying owners, I just say humans, because I don't
Yeah.
like, no one's an owner of anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, actually, when you explain communication, and it's so simple when you take away all that stuff round about it, and it's just you teach them how to just communicate and listen to their animal. What a difference it makes in everybody's life in that house, you know, and gives
Changes.
the dogs a better life, you know, and it gives
Yeah.
the humans a better life too, and it just gives them a better relationship all round. So
It's so vibrant. Everything, the energy about what you do with the dogs is so vibrant. There is so much color there. You are enriching lives, like you've just said, in many, many different ways.
got to the respect from you and your animal has to be both ways. It has to be, you have to make sure that you're giving them their instinctive needs also, you know,
Mm,
because they are dogs, they are animals, horses, they need that. And I think when you provide that for your best friend, then that connection is just something else. See, when you give them that freedom to be, you know, and
yeah,
you take that time to understand them, and not just, humans put so much emotions onto their animals. Richard, do you want down,
yeah,
princess?
yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Absolutely. We put so much baggage onto them.
So much, and it's they will do anything just to make you happy and just to feel that love from you. So they take on so much.
We pull into animals that we want, but not necessarily what is right for us as well. Different species of animals. There are many people that dogs, because dogs have that, that's how they are, isn't it, in a pack? And
Yes,
they'll come to you, whatever you do to them, they'll come back to you, bless
absolutely.
them. And that can go into the wrong hands. I mean, people love horses, so they have horses, but actually sometimes horses aren't the right species for them.
Spiritual connection with horses is, there's something else, Richard, and you know that. You know, they're
In what way do you see horses different to dogs? How do you see the energy being different?
horses for healing is just incredible.
This,
The
isn't it?
healing that a horse gives is incredible. I think with our dogs, but they're so domesticated now, that even dogs forget to connect with home, you know, because we've got them so domesticated, but horses just don't lose that. I don't feel that they lose it.
I think you're absolutely right. And people will have a dog because they, in some way inside, they're hurting and they want some kind of healing. And the dog isn't necessarily the right animal to do that. But you walk up to a horse and they will show you, they will mirror to you what is going on, who you are.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. And it's something that I really wish, you know, that I could do it, but I don't have anywhere up here, you know, that I've.
Well, you did do some work on the course. Let's talk about. So yeah, when I met you, you had the business.
Yeah.
School of Drool.
School of Drool, yeah. Yes.
And then you came down.
Came down.
You made the journey to Hogwarts.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Well, it was a spiritual church.
I didn't want to leave.
The spiritual church in Loughborough.
It was, yeah.
You're on the second course.
Yeah.
It was completely unique and different, very new at the time.
Yeah, and it was at the farm that was closing down, remember? And
Ellen's farm. Hi, Ellen. She'll be watching it. Hi, Ellen. Hi. Do you remember Ellen?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember every animal that
was there. You can't forget Ellen. You can't forget Ellen.
No, can't forget. And the dogs and all the animals and the wee pony.
Yeah, the little foal.
Yeah, and then she passed away. And
yeah. But you had some. But I also got you in with the parrot.
You did, yeah. And you didn't know about my connection with birds then?
I didn't know anything at the time. And did you work with the cats as well on the course?
I didn't know. What happened was I worked with the parrots, I worked with Ellen's dog, and then you took me away and put me in a room and gave me a
I had to. Yeah. You were just too much. I locked you away in a room. I didn't lock her away.
No, you didn't, but you gave me a picture to read, and it wasn't until after it that it was your dog that I read, remember?
Yeah, I remember it. So that there was no pressure on you. What do you remember? That was on the second day. What do you remember on the first day at the church?
Something crazy happened with Matt. You had to bring Matt out of his meditation.
Yes, Matt had a really profound meditation experience where he came round and he was completely paralyzed and couldn't move. And all I could see with these eyes going.
So that happens to me. Like if I'm in certain meditations or I'm doing certain energy healings, things like that, that can happen to me. Sometimes my arms just start like flying up and stuff like that. So I remember like watching Matt there and thinking, I actually kind of felt as if I'd just found people that were finally just like me.
It was a great experience having you on the course. You found you got a lot out of it.
Massively. My confidence was on the ground. I didn't have any confidence to go out and say like I'm an animal communicator. I had no confidence in myself, and even after reading your own animal and you giving me feedback, and like you can remember, Richard, I came home and I started doing animal communications and I was speaking with you, and I think because of having to type things up and send them to me, and with my dyslexia, and it took me about an hour to get on this Zoom meeting today because I've not opened my laptop in about 2 years, you know. So that's
hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously everything happened with COVID and everything just went spiritual journey.
But they're hurdles. And what does this Amazonian woman do when she's presented with a hurdle?
I just take the lesson and I jump over it and keep going.
That's me. I smash them down.
I mean, I struggle to jump over it now with my hips and my back.
Crawl under. I crawl under.
Just walk around it. It's easier.
And then I just love it. And then I came up to do a course that you facilitated and sorted. You were so amazing. I came up because I wanted that old needle in my bottom. I was looking forward to that B12. Yeah. So I come up, I'm going to give you both a needle. But that was amazing. And then we got to find out more about you. We got to see the School of Drool, or more about how you do it all, met your dogs, went out, had some food, got to experience lots more. And then we had the course up there that you sorted, which was so kind of you and amazing. We were up at a yard with lots of horses, freezing cold. It was freezing. When was it? January?
Yeah, January 2019. And then we shut down everything in March.
What was I doing going to Scotland in January? And you were like, I remember you were like It's like this a lot of the time, really.
It's like that's in July.
I know we did the course up there. You did loads more work with the horses as well. I've got some wonderful memories of the dogs that were involved in it, that came into the room, and we went to the yard outside and the horses. And then you went up on your own journey. COVID hit. Your marriage ended.
Marriage ended, yeah. Well, you know, when you were up, it was iffy because I spoke to you guys about it and stuff. So yeah, just before COVID hit, I'd moved out the kind of marital home and stuff like that, and then COVID hit, and I had a house, my old house, before we moved into that house that I rented out, and unfortunately because of COVID, I couldn't
go back into it.
I couldn't put the tenant out, so I had to try and find somewhere to live. I rented.
So you made a cardboard box with lots of rainbow colours on in the street.
Practically, yeah. No, I actually found somewhere okay, but my business didn't receive any support or anything. Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't even get government, like, what is it? Is it universal credits? And then I actually ended up having nowhere to live, and I fell off the horse because the stables opened back up.
Yeah, because you'd started horse riding around the time that I met you. You just started horse riding. No, about the time we came up to do the 2-day course in Scotland.
Yeah.
Then you had the accident. I
always wanted to do horse riding as a child, but it was very expensive.
Yeah.
So that wasn't something that I did get to do. So I started it myself as an adult. I'd started it years ago, and then like I'd moved away and done other things. And so that was me getting back into it. And
what happened?
It was getting used a lot in the riding school, too much, and then COVID hit, and then, you know, he wasn't my horse, so I didn't really have a say on what was going on with him.
So he was feeling fresh.
Yeah, and when I went in that day, I shouldn't have went on him because I read him and I knew I shouldn't have went on him. But I did, Richard, and I must have for a reason, and I went down, like I couldn't feel from my waist down, you know, it was horrendous, but I got back up, and then I ended up in the hospital. I was partially paralysed all down one side.
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't taking any medication because I'm very plant-based, I'm very natural.
I
don't take any medications for anything.
That must have been awful for you.
Yeah, but I ended up taking it, and
what, medication?
Yeah, because then Isa died, my wee dog. So she was a wee dog that had come into my life unexpectedly, wee Frenchie. I would have never have had a Frenchie as a pet. She came into my life and she was just this bundle of absolute joy. Like, all my dogs have taught me things. They've all a certain reason for myself, and for Isa, I obviously was going through a lot in my marriage that people didn't know about.
Yeah.
I'd also found out that I couldn't have kids and stuff like that, and I'd never wanted kids, but I'd went down to donate my eggs and got told that I couldn't donate my eggs and stuff. So Isa came at just a time where I felt as if I needed to nurture, I needed to mother, I needed to, and every morning when you woke up, this little dog was waiting on you, you know, and as soon as you opened her eyes, if
you were like,
oh, hear a squeak, she would be saying, "Good morning, what are we doing today? Where are we going?" What? You know,
upliftment.
Just, oh my, and then she was just gone, you know, just absolutely. And 2 nights, our wee spine exploded, and she was
what?
With something.
You lost her?
Yeah. Remember, I got a reading from one of your students because I felt as if I couldn't connect because I was so deep in the grief, but I was so deep in the grief because I was taking all this medication, chemicals for my back. My spiritual side was so blocked, Richard. I hadn't took my angel cards out my cupboard, and I was staying in a friend's bedroom.
You were grieving. You were grieving.
I was grieving massively.
And blocked from the grieving.
Yeah, I couldn't connect because I do blame the medication on why I couldn't connect with her.
Viviana, how long did you have her for?
She was only 3.
So she was like that beacon of light that actually helped you through some really dark moments.
And then
just like that, she's gone.
In the midst of, like, everything. It was just like, it was like, you know, when you've got the dominoes and you hit one and they just all, that was like my life. Everything was just
Yeah.
falling down at the one time. And then she was gone and I was,
Oh, this is so sad and must have been so traumatic for you. How did you get through it?
I went to my shaman. I hadn't worked with him for a long time because I was great on my journey. You know, we always still connected, but I wasn't actively doing anything because of everything that happened. And I was staying in a friend's like bedroom because I had nowhere to stay. Because it got to the point where I'd used all my savings to keep my business running through COVID. So I was living on absolutely nothing. And I had put all my
Oh my
stuff,
goodness.
yeah, I'd put all my stuff in storage and everything. So I didn't have
You
any
found
stuff.
you've, I get it. And this journey where you found your spirituality, it had been there all along, but pushed
Yeah,
away through, you know, relationships,
yeah,
found it
yeah,
again, then we met,
yeah,
then you lost it again, then
yeah,
and then when you were at your lowest ebb, the dogs, the animals are back in your life, picking you up and saying, "Come on, mum,"
yeah,
and then you lose
absolutely.
them.
I lose Isa, yeah. And she was just, oh my God, she lit up my world. Like amongst everything, I was okay because of her energy. Her energy
Yeah,
just kept me going.
yeah,
And I don't just mean all my dogs kept me going, but she was the one that was like, get up, you know,
yeah.
today's a blessing, you know, you have woke up today, you know, oh my God, who's this?
This is Eva.
There,
Well, it's not Eva, Eva Marie.
Maria, wow, she's
Eva Marie.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is just, I guess she even felt what was going on there with the emotion, because I could feel it even on Zoom on the screen. There's a complete difference there in your energy when you talk about her.
Yeah, she's
How
but
did you get through it?
so I went to my shaman and I started doing a bit of work with him again. And that just led me back into, you know, it's my attachment I'm holding on to, and that's not letting her energy go if I'm attached, so she can't help me the way she's meant to help me, you know, because she's crossed over for a reason. She was in my life for that amount of time for a reason. She can
Yeah,
help me stronger in spirit than what she can here at that point in
yes.
time.
Oh, goodness, yes.
Yeah, but I didn't see that because of the mist of everything I was in. But when I started going back out, and he understood the position I was in, so we had became such good friends over the years of working with him that it was just done out of pure friendship. And this time, you know,
How
in love
wonderful.
and friendship, and you know, so like I owe him so much. I do. I owe him so much because he really, really.
It's opened a lot of doors for you,
Oh, because this time
helped
when I
you
came
back,
back up, I really came back up, you know, and
guided you back.
yeah, and I do things the Isa way now. Everything that I do, it's like, what would Isa do? It's the Isa way. I'm doing it the Isa way. I look at life the Isa way. And that's when I opened up the puppy sensory unit and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, what's that all about? The puppy sensory unit,
so it's
all
like,
inspired by Isa, yeah?
yeah, so it's just with the pups, you know, because I used to you get so many people looking, getting pups, and then they go to work and it's too much at the daycare fields for pups, you know, and they've got so much to learn. And so with opening that, I've got the amazing dog trainer, Harry, we call him the puppy padre. He works with the pups in there, so they come in and, you know, we're nurturing them, we're growing them, we're teaching them, we're building everything up, we're doing everything sensory, you know, they
Yeah.
get to watch like Lady and the Tramp, and they get quiet time with their galaxy lights, and they go up their refields.
Galaxy lights.
They make wee paw print cards for like Mother's Day, and you know, and then we've got puppy fields, and we take them there and we build them up so that when
Oh,
they're ready, they go to the high school fields. You know, that's the way I work it.
I know this is just for dogs, but can I not come? I want
Yeah,
to be.
please
Can
come.
I go? I want to go there for the day.
Need
This
more
sounds
energy like
great.
you round about my area.
This sounds great. So, and all from her, it's all stemmed.
Yeah.
And you took hold of that spear from the Amazon, And now what have you gone and done with it all? What's this all about? Let's hear about this.
So well, came about. So when I started going back to the shaman, I started to get my spirituality and stuff back. I had a lot of girls round about me that were kind of connected and did like things, but weren't connected with each other. So last year at the spring equinox, I messaged them and I was like, why don't we go for a little overnight retreat somewhere, just be good to ourselves, you know, spa, but let's get all the girls to share all their gifts with the girls so that we're all given something.
Right.
So that's what we did. So I did like a wee bit of like my emotion therapy and stuff that I do. And Margaret, who's now my business partner, came and she did our yoga and she does human design. Do you know what human design is?
No.
Human design is amazing for
In a nutshell, tell me what it is.
But you don't truly know yourself until you've done your human design. Like it'll take everything where you were born, and then it gives you to the point of what your diet should be like, what you should be doing as a job. Like I understand myself since I got my human design. I'm meant to be in indirect sunlight. So see now, if I only in indirect sunlight, the weight comes off me. Like,
and who did this for you?
And Margaret, my business partner, she's a human.
Right.
She does human design. So she came and she did that. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And Margaret had came to me. We were at school together, primary school, and then she left and we went to different high schools.
She was on the course.
No, no.
Oh.
You haven't met Anne Margaret because we only connected again last January.
Right.
She
okay.
came to me for a ceremony. So when she went to a different high school from me, that's when all my bullying started and stuff. But so she was back into my life last January.
And she did that for you. She did your human design.
Yeah. So at the retreat, so we did the retreat together. And then we were going to yoga one night a few weeks later. And I says to her, the community needs women's circles. The community needs community again. You know, we need to be helping, lifting each other up. Yeah. Like letting people know it's okay to go through traumas and go through. And, you know, if you don't know what you're going through, like the help needs to be there.
Yes.
So start women's circles. And I said, I don't have the time. She said, I'll do it with you. So we couldn't find a location for it. It was all happening very quickly. But when we put it out there, so many people wanted to come. So I called my shaman. And the place, he had a cafe in Hamilton where I live. And that's the place we took on. But he had it closed down for COVID. And he wasn't going to open it back up because he was moving to Spain. But he didn't want anybody to buy it as his business because he didn't want seeing his vision.
I get it. So yeah. What he'd built up and
builders or whatever. So I had called him and I told him what we were doing. I says, we're looking for somewhere just to run the first circle because we don't have anywhere. So he's like, absolutely no problem at all. Gave me the keys. And then about a week later, he took me out for lunch and said, why don't you buy Zen? And I said, well, I have no money. I wasn't expecting this. And it's just all went from there.
I've looked at some of the photographs and some of the bits and pieces about the experiences, and there's so much to it. And the thing that I loved, some of the things that I loved straight away was the colour, the vibrancy, the energy in the room, almost like anything goes world, where we let go of everything and just find out who we truly are, which I guess is part of human design.
With our higher self and connecting, you know, in there and our intuition. That's all it's about. And that's the basic of it, because see, when you take away all that noise and you listen to that true voice, Richard, that doesn't get to come out, the one that's in here in your stomach, the one that's up here in your energy field, when you actually allow yourself time to connect and listen to that, your journey, healing journey, is just, you know, it's just such a beautiful journey. And we do a lot of inner child work because there's a lot there for that. That's where your cycles start, you know. And Anne Margaret, she's a teacher, she's NLP coach, you know, she does all of that. And I'm the spiritual side. I do the plant medicine. I do
and emotion.
Emotion therapy is energy and motion. So our body is full of stagnant energy. It's got trapped traumas, trapped emotions, and we need to get that moving. We need to get it out. So I do it through healing. I do it through massage. I do it through dance and movement. So I do it in all different ways. So an emotion therapy, 3-hour emotion therapy with myself, you get a full body massage in that, and it's my own specific massage with my own oils, and I'm being
Yeah, well,
guided.
you do massage anyway, don't you? We
Yeah,
didn't
so
mention
I'm
it, but
being guided by spirit on where I have to go in the body, and
all this ability, yeah.
actually use music also in frequencies, and so then I do that, and then after the massage, and the massage goes on for about 2 hours because it's a lot and it can get very emotional. We do a lot of releasing because
Yeah.
I'm moving the body a lot,
Yeah.
and then I do all the chakra unblocking, but I use seashells instead of crystals because seashells are
The
what I love.
mermaid,
Yeah,
the
they're what I
mermaid
love
in
with,
you.
you know, so they're just as powerful as crystals. You know,
Wow.
yeah, they
I had
are.
no idea about
Yeah,
that.
you should look into seashells. You know, they're here in the earth just as long as the crystals
Yeah.
are. You know, and with the connection with me and the sea, and yeah, my guides is a lot of sea animals and mermaids. You know, and that's what I connect with. So the seashells for me is massive when I'm working.
Oh,
And then I
that's
do the
amazing.
sound bowl, I do the drumming, I do like
I love
lots
all
of
that.
running. It just releases so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And movement.
body, yeah. And
Movement's so important, isn't it, with that?
absolutely. And when we hold this stagnant energy in our body, it creates inflammation. And inflammation is the root cause of dis-ease, disease in the body. It's when your body's in a state of dis-ease because of all these traumas, emotions, and
Right.
thing. And then that's where your inflammation comes in. And inflammation is the root of all illness.
So we have to express it.
Yeah, you have to
We have to
express
express ourselves.
it to get it out. Yeah.
Express yourself.
Absolutely. And I put the blindfolds on the women, you know, so that
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
they're
Hang on a
on their
minute now.
own.
What's going on here?
When we're dancing, you know, the
Ah,
blindfolds go on so that it's just them in that room and they're just getting, especially the hips. We hold it all in the hips. So you've got to get those hips moving.
because the hips don't lie, girl.
Hips don't lie, Richard.
I love it. Oh my goodness. So you're saying that you go up there, so it's in Hamilton.
Yes.
How often do you hold these?
Oh, so we do a full moon circle and a new moon circle every week. That's just our circles, and we're just teaching people about, you know, the moon cycles and how it affects our emotions and our food. And we run very seasonally. I like to run seasonally. So in the winter, I'll hibernate mostly. That's my time for me. And then spring's about planting
Just
seeds.
like the spider.
I just like the spider. Hopefully I won't bury myself somewhere.
Hopefully you're not crawling up someone's shoulder somewhere right now.
Yeah, so we do that. So then we run, and Margaret's got her yoga classes and everything, our Koga course. I'm in the process of putting an 8-week course together for the stuff that I do. Then we have our Koga Motion Day Retreat that we do together, which is male and female. That includes...
What's that?
So that's yoga, emotion therapy. Then we do inner child games. And then we do the cold water therapy.
I just love it all. And this is all part of Wawa.
Yeah.
So part of Wawa is that you get to dance, shake your hips, express yourself.
That's it, yeah. And the Wonder
tap
Woman
into,
tap
into your inner child.
Yeah.
Have meditations.
Connect with your ancestors. See, when you connect with your ancestors and your roots of who you are. I'm not who I am because my mum and dad brought me up in Blantyre and my dad's a plasterer. My mum's been a housewife. 95% of our traumas are ancestral traumas. 95%.
Baggage handed down.
Massively. So it's about connecting ancestrally too, to know your roots. You keep saying about the Amazon with me and stuff like that.
I do.
That's a massive connection for me because it's I've done a lot of past life regressions and stuff like that too, which just blow my mind, you know, and I just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
I can see, I love it, love it, love it. I love all the, as she sways with her hips at the same time. I just love everything. I want to just talk to you for ages, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much here. You really are a Wonder Woman in so many ways. And I have got so much respect for you. And I actually feel like I could just burst into tears talking to you right now. Do you know that? I actually feel that. I feel such emotion and I've missed you so much.
I've missed you and Matt a lot. Yeah, we've been
our time together. You're such a kind person to us. such a kind person, and you make me cry. I feel like
I'm going to tell you one thing before you go when you talk about being kind. Have you ever heard of the Ho'oponopono prayer?
no.
So the Ho'oponopono prayer was healers in Hawaii, and they used to heal people through a certain prayer of when you forgive yourself, you've got to forgive the collective. And it's very, very beautiful. I end, before I go to bed every night, I sing the Ho'oponopono prayer, and when we finish anything out in Wiwa, we always end with the Ho'oponopono prayer. But it's so I do courses on Ho'oponopono because it's. I'll send you it, Richard. I'll send you it, and you can.
Is it a long prayer?
No, it's a song. There's all different variations of the song and stuff too, but it's when you actually, I'll send you a link from my stuff to read into the meaning behind it, and there's like 12 universal laws and everything like this, and it's absolutely beautiful. And you know, I just come from such a place of a genuinely everything that's energetic on this planet I have so much love for. You know,
You've been on such a journey.
yeah.
You have been, Viviana, you have been on such a journey. You have got through over those hurdles, been through so much, relationships, loss, to become this woman, this wondrous, strong, empowering woman that you are today. I know that you talk about the group and the prayers and how you will talk and share. Is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody watching, some words of wisdom to finish this interview? I feel guided to kind of ask you to do that.
Yeah, actually, I would like to say, because my biggest battle, even since years ago meeting you, and even up until recently, because when I said all that brought new trauma that I had to fight through, and Wiwa's helped me with that, with just be unapologetically yourself, you know. Because see, when we try and hide and mask and disguise who we are because we might not fit in this matrix that's out there, that's okay, you know, because we're here for another reason, you know.
You hear that, everybody? This is what Viviana's saying, this beautiful woman who's been on such a journey that you've followed and been part of today. Just be yourself. And unapologetically yourself.
Listen to the horses, listen to the dogs, listen to the birds, to the trees, listen to nature. Close your eyes and listen.
Just listen.
So much love for you, Richard and Matt.
Thank you. Wow. 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 Everybody, you have been listening to this wonderful woman today, Viviana Mirimar. I'm going to put all the links down below for how you can access the WOWA groups, how you can get in touch with Viviana. Just amazing. Thank you so much. Next week we have my very last person that I'll be talking to on this series of Soul Talking. Because then I'm getting in the car and I'm driving up to Scotland.
Yay!
Yeah. I did ask her if I could be part of the Wonder Woman, you know, come on one of the sessions, and even if I had to dress in drag, you know, so I could just get through the door. But it's great to hear that they're doing something for men now as well, and they're going to be Superman or whatever. So, you know, she could have told me that, because I could have bought a different T-shirt. But, you know, Wonder Woman it is today.
Wonder Woman it is.
And Superman another day. Viviana, thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
For sharing your story with us. Lots of love. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Viviana.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.